After Sugartooth had broken up, Josh and I had produced a record band called The Bicycle Thief. And the singer was Bob Forrest of Thelonious Monster, and the guitar player is Josh Klinghoffer, who's now sort of a world-renowned player. And I had gone on tour with them as a second, guitarist, and we were the Chili Peppers and the Foo Fighters, big tours. But we were in New York, and I'm staying at the Chelsea Hotel, and Chelsea Guitars is right next door, and this thing is right there in the window. And I had only been an SG player, and I saw this thing and I absolutely fell in love, but I didn't have the money for it. So Mr. Bob Forrest, being the gentleman he is and was, gave me money to be able to afford it, and it was just a gift. And I think what he saw was me rekindling a love of music, and he wanted to nurture that. So he helped me get this thing, and it started an entire process of collecting and exploring outside of the SG world. But it's great. It's a 1964 double anniversary. It doesn't sound amazing. The pickups are not great, but it is, and there's just so much mojo to this instrument. And the first time I played it was at probably a 10,000 seater stadium opening for the Peppers, and through a Marshall, and holy shit, did it sound amazing. I mean, I started instantly playing jazz chords, which I had never done before, but you kind of have to when you pick this thing up. So let's hear what this sounds like. Hello, you Mr. Mockingbird. This is a BC Rich Mockingbird. One of just unbelievably creative body shape, and look at those knobs. This is the only reason I could afford this is some jackball before me added a single coil pickup in the middle of these, so it dropped the appreciation for a collector and made it much more affordable for a Joe like me. But I always wanted this guitar, so it's I don't even know. I don't even know how to access that pickup because this is so damn complicated. So whatever, just play it. But it is so easy to play up here. The neck is so thin. It is again, if I were a shredder, this would be fantastic. I'm not, but I still appreciate this guitar and what a real player could actually make it sound like. Early Joe Perry, and Slash was a big collector of music player as well. So anyways, this is one of my favorites. This is the Bill Gola, based on Gretsch's Billy Bo, the Bo Diddley. Bill Gola, the guy Liam in Australia, who I commissioned to build this for me. This is so stunning. It's, I don't even, you can't see it too, but inside here, he took an old photograph of my parents when they were dating at a dinner club in Los Angeles in the probably mid-60s, and he laminated it inside. So this will be with me forever. But anyways, this thing, it's a stunner, and it plays perfectly. And I don't even know, when you pick it up, I tend to want to play really beautiful, like reverby chords. But I always kind of think of Billy Zoom and X as well. But whatever, I just love this guitar. I could look at this thing all day. Dean ML. So yes, when you see it, you probably think metal, of course, Dimebag, but I do not own it because of Dimebag. I actually own this because Elliot Easton of Cars, he played one of these, and I don't think he played it very often, but there's some photos of him with it. I don't know if he loved it or not, but I loved it when I saw him with it. I think that yes, you could see metal, but you could also see new wave and punk, you know, depending on who played it and when. So I always would have thought of this more as a new wave guitar. A Fender Telly. So this is a special one. It has kind of pearloid binding. My friend Bob gifted me the body, and I had the rest sort of parts casted and put together for me. It's a really wonderful guitar, and I had a really hard time matching the gold pick guard. I have all different. I'm still not sold on exactly this. Whatever. Don't go down the rabbit hole with me. Anyways, what I did have done is Josh Klinghoffer and I were thinking about the same thing at the same time, so we both agreed to do this at the same time. He sent the guitar in and I sent the guitar in. And we had these turned into benders, G and B benders. So if you pull on the strap, the B bends up, the country style. And there's another one here, goes on your belt, that if you pull backwards on, so you can play country style with this thing based on how you pull, push and pull, and it kind of has a steel string feel to it. This is a great guitar, but it's one of a kind. Okay, 1966 Fender Jaguar. It is an actual Fender Jaguar, no knockoff here, but the reason I got this one is because one of my all-time favorite players is Roland Howard. Birthday Party, Nick Cave, you know, Roland Howard solo. But anyways, he played a white Jaguar with block inlays, so I was on the hunt. I found this one. The original color, I believe, was candy apple red, like the headstock, so I kept that, and I had the body repainted to reflect Roland's style. And he had something similar. He had like a rose here, so it's not identical, but in a nod to Mr. Howard, I put a rose here. And so to the casual watcher, they wouldn't know, but anyone who can go into the deep cuts like the Birthday Party might recognize this as a Roland Howard-esque guitar. This is a 1965 Framis, one of the more beautiful ones I'd ever seen. The frets and the electronics up here. I'm a sucker for those, of course, and the insane bar here. But this is a really beautiful guitar. It's very light, so probably couldn't play it on stage. But you know, you don't even need, really, you don't need an amplifier for this thing. It just sort of, there's a nice tone to it, and you play it acoustically, but it's an electric, so let's plug it in. This is a 1966 Mosrite Joe Maphis. I love Moserites. I love the way they sound. I love the way they look. I haven't really been able to bond with them as a player. But this one is close as I've been able to get where I think, okay, I think I could do this. Something about the way, the size of the neck and the challenge of bending strings, it just doesn't really work for me. But I do love the basic brown of this guitar. And we'll see. This for now, this is a keeper. Let me see if I make this thing sound like something. All right, this is a K Jimmy Reed Thin Twin. It's from the 50s. I don't know the exact year. I don't know that that's knowable. It might not be, but it's pretty. Let me look at that pick guard. My friend Dave Bassett turned me onto this guitar. He said it's one of his favorites to play both as an acoustic and as an electrified acoustic. And it's gritty. There's kind of a nasty growl to it, and this is pretty intense boat neck, which I love a boat neck. A really sturdy piece of wood, and it just sounds great. You know, I mean, it clearly looks great. Look at that. Anyways, let's play. Novo Cirrus. Boy, this thing is incredible. Really incredible. Pretty much this is the way it comes. The only thing I had different, you know, in the interest of not doing everything exactly like everybody else, I had block inlays instead of the dots, which I think it comes with naturally. So that was like my only upgrade. And this thing is all over Volume 3. I played it the last time I played live in another band. It's incredibly versatile, hot, a naturally angry guitar. You plug it into a Marshall or whatever, and you're ready to be on fire. And it's the easiest guitar in the world to play, and it's just it just looks so damn cool too. So if you don't know about Novo, you should. I'm guessing if you're a player, you already do, but check them out. Incredible. This monster. This is about as big as it gets for an electric guitar. This is an R.C. Allen Aristocrat. I had it built for me by the man himself. He was legendary in the Southern California sort of rockabilly, Paul Bigsby, Merle Travis sort of country music scene. I had him built this for me many years ago. It was the first guitar I ever had built. And it's got my custom made for me on there. It's got my son's name on the 12th fret. And whatever the hell this, obligatory armrest. And I mean, look at that bar, the tremolo bar. And this is the first one I started running really through a Marshall and seeing the tones that you can get and how to work these hot P90 pickups. And what I used to do is really cool. It's not trying out like right at the moment. What I would do is I would string these normally, but the low E I would string the opposite way. So it would run under and wrap around, so that when you use the tremolo bar, all the strings go down except would go up. And it would create a really bizarre sort of tension and chaos. Not super audible, but just weird enough, particularly if you're playing at lower volumes. Like, why is that guitar out of tune? But it isn't, but it is. So I love this guitar. It's a piece of history, and certainly with my name and my son's name on it, so it might as well be a tattoo. Oh no, those pearl knobs. He knew how to build a guitar, I'll tell you that. Does it get any more beautiful than that? This is a Redeemed Guitars El Dorado. This is made by a guy named Jed. It Redeemed Guitars is his own company in North Carolina. When I saw this, I think it was on Instagram, I saw a version of this, or a prototype, and I was like, oh my God, I reached out and had him build it for me. And I love the dude. I haven't met him, but I just felt like between his postings and our communications and his taste in music, I thought he and I should be friends. But anyways, this is sort of based on, you know, the old world of guitars, the Bigsby's, the original Bigsby's. You know, the TK Smith, you know, makes incredibly unaffordable versions of this, but this is a TK Smith tailpiece that Jed put on for me at my request, but I appreciate it. But this guitar is just unbelievable, and it begs to be played through, you know, reverb-drenched, twangy, gritty amplifiers. And let's just love this guitar, shall we? Thank you. The Travis Bean Wedge guitar. So this is not for everybody. They didn't make very many of these back in the day. I don't even know. I want to say like 19 or 20 of them were made. Keith Levine from PIL famously played one. They are crazy. It's an aluminum neck, and this is called a rainbow poplar body paint job. So electrical guitar companies, EGC, I think joined forces with Travis Bean, called Travis Bean Designs, to sort of revisit the lost art of these guitars. And so this is a year old. This is a new version with Travis Bean on the pickups. And this is a monster. I mean, this is it's heavy, clearly with the aluminum neck. It's a statement, and it is I think it's meant to be played with ferocity. So let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Ladies and gentlemen, the Gretsch White Falcon. This is the holy grail of guitars as far as I'm concerned. So I had a plan when I was a young, depressed kid, and I decided I was gonna learn to play the guitar like the guy in Bow Wow Wow, who used to be in Adam and the Ants. And why did I want to learn to play the guitar and be that guy? Because I fell in love with the singer of Bow Wow Wow. And I figured if I learned to play properly and I got this guitar and I looked as cool as him, I would be in the band eventually, and I would meet her and she would fall in love with me and life would be great. Well, I tracked down this, it had to be the exact model, the block inlays, the logo like this tailpiece, the whole thing. So I found it. It's a 1980. Of course, it has to have the pad on the back. You know, it took me years to pay this off. I was a broke musician many years ago. The funny thing about it is, you know, fast forward years and years later, I got a call one day from the bass player of Bow Wow Wow, who said he had heard that I kind of looked like him. I was a lot thinner at the time, had a mohawk at the time, and here I am playing the guitar, and Bow Wow Wow happened to be getting back together to go on tour, the K-Rock tour, I think, like, I don't even know, Soft Cell and Echo and the Bunnymen and all these bands. And they were not thrilled with their guitar player because the original guitar player unfortunately had passed away. And so next thing you know, Lee Gorman, who's the bass player of Bow Wow Wow, is over at my house in California watching me play Bow Wow Wow songs on my White Falcon. So take that.